trying to teach a lesson so much as I was trying to create a community, you know, and to use the different animals, the different creatures to shine a light on that particular community, the community of a swamp, actually. And I think, you know, swamps are underrated. They're, when we think of a swamp, we don't think of it as a place to take a vacation, for example. I think I was always also trying to show that every place, every you know, tree, every bush has value in the world. And you know, even though the book, I really wanted it to be funny, to be a funny take on the whole thing. I also, you know, wanted to make that underlying message that we need to take care of our wild spaces. So yeah, thank you for that question.
So when you come up, speak loud, proudly.
My name is Moshi Kosain, and I'm also from Tompkins Middle School. And my question is about boxes and face. And why did you choose to put 2 point of views in the war?
That's a great question. You know, when I first started learning about the Boxer Rebellion, I was looking for a hero. I knew I wanted to do some kind of a story about it. I was looking for a hero, and I kept debating between the two sides because I felt sympathy for both sides, and I felt like I could understand their motivations for what they did. And ultimately, because I couldn't decide, I ended up making 2 books.
My name is Jason from Tompkins Middle School, and my question is about boxers and Sans. Which point of view do you agree with, and how does that affect your writing?
Yeah, okay, so the question is which point of view do I agree with? I still can't decide, I gotta tell you. Especially since I feel like I've spent so much time on both sides of the conflict. I still can't decide. I think I'm just an indecisive person.
My name is Nora, and I'm also from Tompkins Square Middle School, and I have to ask, what were some of the underlying points that you're trying to make with putting both sides and choosing to make it so that Viviana's sacrifice saved Bao in the end?
So for one of the reasons, one of the things I hope by doing 2 books is that it would encourage folks to look at both sides of any conflict. Just because I think, you know, nowadays with the media being what it is, you can spend your whole day listening to your own opinions being repeated over and over and over to yourself again without ever hearing the other side. So I hope that it inspired people to do that. And then in the end, I really, like you're talking about the final scene, right? I really wanted to show that even though Viviana didn't necessarily figure out her place in the world, for sure, that her small kindnesses still bore fruit. That even though she wanted to save a whole community, she wasn't able to do that, but she still saved one person. You know, she saved Bao.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Angie from TSMS, and for the thing about I was thinking, how do you come up with Summer's characteristic?
How do I come up? I'm sorry?
Character, like Summer's characteristic?
So many characteristics? Is that what you're asking? Summer's character.
With Summer's character, I always do the same thing for the main character. I try to base everything on how I would be in the same situation. So it's almost like acting where you put yourself into the character that you want to write about.
Hi, my name is Joey from also TSMS, and my question is, what does malaria symbolize in the book?
Malaria. Malaria. It was just a fear that the main character had that she needed to get over. She needed to find her courage again. So, yeah, so it just showed her growth from the beginning to the end, her feelings about malaria. She grew in the end, and so she was able to overcome her fears.
My name is Chanel, and I'm far, far away. My question is, why did you choose to write it from Yakov's point of view instead of Jeremy's?
It's a really good question. If you didn't hear it, why did I write from the point of view of a 200-year-old ghost instead of a 14-year-old boy, and it's probably because I really have maybe more in common with the 200-year-old. Really, I felt like this was a little bit of a chance to write from the first person, which I have never done in a longer book. And by doing that, I was able to access more of my own ideas, and I hoped they were in line with what Jakob's might be. So it felt like something new that would be good to try, and I can tell all of you aspiring writers out there that first-person ghost is a really great way to go, because the ghost can be anywhere. The limitations of first person are usually that you can only see what one character can see, but with a ghost can be in any room and any place. So, thank you.
My name is Delon Jones from TSMS, everyone else is. I have a question about, for Meg. Why did you decide to write a book about a girl who can see everything but that no one else sees?
Well, that's an interesting question. I think I'm slightly obsessed with the idea that people have different capacities. And when I was in school, there was a great feeling that everyone should be evened out. So everyone should get A's, in every single subject. When in fact, really, people have such specific talents and such specific abilities that when you ask one person to do a math equation, their whole face lights up, and you ask someone else to do it, and they feel like the great abyss has opened up. And when you have children, you particularly notice that they often have really different capacities and abilities to you. And in my case, I've got really funny characteristics, like I'm really face blind. I can never recognize people. And my daughter is brilliant at it. She's a genius. She can recognize people she's only met like for a second. And so I was kind of just looking at those different abilities. And some people just have an ability to walk into a room and figure out what's going on. And I think that's an amazing quality. Thank you. Good question.
My question is for the author of The Thing About Luck. And my question is, why did you make Jazz the way he is?
Why did I make Jazz the way he is? First of all, I have a little brother in different books because I have a little brother in real life. So I think a lot of it is just thinking about my brother, but he's not like that. But just thinking about the feelings that an older sister has for a younger brother. But in terms of his issues, it just came naturally. It wasn't even something that I thought about. I just wanted somebody for the older girl or the main character to protect, because I always felt so protective of my own brother.
Hi, my name is Ashley Bradley. I'm from St. Mark's High School. My question is for you, what was the most challenging part of your book?
The most challenging part of the Scouts was to try to fit all the various stories together. I had several strands of different stories coming together, and I knew that somehow I had to get them all to come together at the end. And so that was a challenge, but possibly the biggest challenge for me was to figure out who Chap was and what was going on with him and what was underneath his whole being, what was driving him. It took me a long time to figure Chaparral out. And I think that's, my editor will tell you that's something that I struggle with in all of my books. It takes me a long time to figure out who my main character is and what is underneath them. So, yeah. Thanks for that question.
Hi, my name is Azana McNair. How did you, from TSMS, for the thing about luck, how did you create Summer going through all these problems?
How did I create Summer? Like with the malaria, I actually interviewed a woman who had malaria, which is very rare in the United States, but a friend of mine just happened to know this woman, so I based her fear of malaria and also her obsession with mosquitoes on things that the woman had told me. And everything is all based on research. I just interviewed a lot of people, and that really helped. And then once you interview them and know who they are, then you can just make up anything in a very natural way, if that makes sense. That's a really good question, though. Thank you.
My name is Christy Toussaint, and I'm from St. Louis State School. My question is to the author of Boxers. What advice would you give to young writers?
What advice would I give to young writers? Read and write as much as you can and give up TV.
Hi, my name is Erica Raricat. I'm from Legacy High School for Integrated Studies, and I have a question for Tom McNeil. As I was reading your book, I found a lot of fantastical detail, and I see that you kind of created an equilibrium between a dark reality and fantasy, so I wanted to know if you had any difficulty in that process.
You know, I missed one thing. What kind of details were you suggesting I had provided?
Like how Ginger was encouraging Jeremy to do this crime, and how the ghost, James, was trying to stop Jeremy. So I'm connecting the reality to the crimes and the fantasy of the ghost being there.
You know, I think the book sort of has one leg in reality and one leg in fantasy.
Right.
And it's probably because of that it's new for me, because I have always written fiction that was character-based and as realistic as I could make it. And that was true when I wrote Alone and also when I wrote with Laura. So I don't think that I ever could really write a purely fantastical book. I just don't think I'm capable of believing in it myself, unless it's somehow rooted in the world as I know it. So I think I was kind of straddling two worlds and needed to in order to move forward.
Okay, thank you.
Right?